Meantime, a new poll that was taken as we look back at election 2016, which, boy, this is in a whole new light in so many ways, isn't it? And obviously, this is going to be such a focus of the debates that we see going forward. And it shows that when it comes to foreign policy, according to one of these polls that's out there today, voters think that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump could do the job equally well when it comes to foreign policy. It seems the message in Trump's new Instagram video may be resonating with some of those voters.
Refugees are pouring into our great country from Syria. We don't even know who they are. They could be ISIS. They could be anybody. What's our president doing? Is he insane?
Well, that is one of the ways that campaigning is happening right now. Mark Thiessen is a fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, a columnist for the Washington Post, and a Fox News contributor. So, Mark, good morning to you. Good to have you here today. Martha. What do you make of that poll? It's just one poll out there, but on the question of foreign policy, voters are lining up behind Donald Trump and behind Hillary Clinton.
Absolutely. Well, look, I mean, if you look at President Obama's press conferences this week, where he shows absolutely no enthusiasm for going after the terrorists, he shows more enthusiasm for going after the Republicans than he does for going after ISIS. It's very clear that there's a desire for leadership in this country, and Donald Trump, for all of his faults, exudes leadership. He says we're going to go bomb the blank out of them. That's what Americans want to hear. So it's not surprising that he's rising. I'm a little bit surprised that Hillary Clinton, quite frankly, is only at 20%. I mean, she's got almost no competition for the Democratic nomination. She's the former Secretary of State, and only 20% of Democrats think that she's the best person to lead us on foreign policy. That's pretty surprising.
Yeah, it's a good question. You hear a lot of people asking, where is the Churchill of this moment? If we are in a generational conflict, who's going to be that person who can lead us across? So the bar is so high now for these candidates to convince people that they can, A, articulate what we're up against, and B, as I was asking Governor Christie just a few moments ago, how are you going to bring everybody along with you? Because that's the thing that President Obama, according to some new polls that we're going to show in a moment, has not been able to do.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, look, President Obama didn't sign up to be commander-in-chief. That's not why he got this job. He came in here to do domestic policy, and this is a distraction for him. And that's why he's constantly downplaying the terrorist threat. And this is why, quite frankly, Americans don't trust him when it comes to the refugee crisis. Because look, Americans want to help these refugees. These people are victims of Islamic radicalism. They're fleeing a country that Barack Obama stood on the sidelines and watched while it was set on fire.
Yeah.
The problem is not the refugees. The problem is the terrorists might use them to infiltrate the country.
It's a great point. I just want to jump in. The president did not have the compassion for these people when they were being barrel bombed in Syria necessarily. I mean, he may have had compassion. Maybe that's unfair. But, the action was not as forceful as some would have liked. But now he has enormous compassion for them now that they have fought their way across, in terrible conditions to get out of that country.
No, let's remember why we have a refugee crisis. Because for 5 years, Barack Obama did nothing while Syria burned. He did nothing while ISIS rose. He did nothing while Assad gassed his own people. He did nothing while almost 300,000 innocent men, women, and children were massacred. And now he's turning to the Republicans and saying Republicans are betraying our country's values because they're raising legitimate concerns about the ability to vet these people. This is a president who has consistently underestimated the terrorist threat. He just told us that last week that ISIS was contained right before the Paris attacks. He called them the JV squad right before they invaded Iraq. So of course people don't trust him about vetting these refugees.
His own DNI had said that the administration underestimated the power of this group. So, Mark, thanks very much. Good to talk to you this morning.